subscribe and, you know, like the video. How does it feel to live in a country that cosplays Germany in 1933? I mean, Germany is cosplaying Germany in 1933 as well. I think it's pretty funny. Virtually everyone is doing the same nonsensical BS. Let's blast off. Let's get into it. There's a lot to talk about. Dems are mad at their own voters. Trump, Putin call, and the future of Ukraine. Trump constitutional crisis showdown at the courts as they gut the federal agencies. Is your dentist bald? No, but it wouldn't matter. Sony state of play as they unveil Bloodborne 60 FPS. Get in now. How are you not banned from Twitter? Because it's the same principle behind how am I not banned from Amazon? Like Amazon platforms. How am I? One, I play ball, okay? And two, I make them money. It's that simple. I generate revenue for their platform. I am a power user, and I have 1.5 million followers. Like, Elon Musk gave me a check mark. I didn't even want the check mark. He gave me a check mark because I was one of the power users on the platform. Unless the gynecologist isn't naked with me, I don't want it. Okay, maybe that's a bit too far. Blast off meme, bomb lefts. What the hell is this? This is not even a meme. This is just, what is this background? It's just me. Oh, is it because it's Squid Game? Oh my God, everyone is so one note. Did I talk to you guys about Squid Game, by the way? I watched the second season. It wasn't as good as the first, but it was definitely better than I expected it to be. Uncle Sam called Richie Torres' office this morning to apologize for demanding the Democrats do something. Like, I didn't like the cliffhanger it ended on, obviously, but like, I will say this. I definitely had lower expectations from season 2. And it definitely, I had low expectations from season 2. It went above my expectations, and it actually was pretty good. There's a nice quote about having to do with capitalists selling rope. Yeah, exactly. Them Koreans will serve you a social quandary. I'll tell you what, they will. Well, you know, understandable. Their society has been ripped apart. Their country has been cut in two, and their society has been ripped apart by the most treacherous nature of imperialist capitalism. So I think, understandably, they have a lot of criticisms of that sort of thing. But yeah, we'll watch Sony State of Play later at 2 p.m. Thank you, Themasius, for the playlist.
Donald Trump.
We're obviously going to get started with some foreign policy and Russia and Ukraine, specifically. Speaking of Korea, Kim Il-sung on Jusha in our revolution. Yeah, no, that's true. He was. I thought it was Mao Zedong. I thought it was the Little Red Book, but a collection of Mao Zedong writings. But maybe it was Kim Il-sung. Maybe he's Jusha. The Eagles are very Jusha coded. Self-reliance. Go Birds. Anyway, are you gonna play the co-op Elden Ring? Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for as far as personal news. Let's get into it. We have the situation with the Democratic Party. They had a meeting with like Our Revolution and Indivisible and numerous other like Democratic Party booster groups, right? Like activist groups that do door knocking for the Dems. Like they literally are a part of their network, right? Important parts of their network. They had a meeting with them the other day, and ironically enough, in that meeting, the Dems got very upset, apparently. Why were they very upset? Well, they were very upset because those groups were demanding the same exact thing that we've been saying, which is, hey, can you guys do something, please? Like, the country is getting ripped apart, and we're watching it unfold, and it kind of seems like you guys are asleep at the wheel. Well, it turns out the Dems got very mad. Not mad at the Republicans, mind you, mad at those liberal groups like Move On and Indivisible. Now, these guys are not Marxist-Leninists, okay? Let me explain something to you. These people are not in any way, shape, or form revolutionary groups, okay? We're talking about Move On and Indivisible. They're liberal groups. They are They work within the confines of the Democratic Party for the most part. Now, of course, they're a little bit more progressive than the Democrats on key issues, for sure. But overall, this is the heart of the Democratic Party's door knocking operation. This is at the heart of the Democratic Party's outreach operation. Okay? These are regular ass libs. And it's understandable that these regular ass libs are saying, hey, Democrats, can you lead, please? What is happening? Well, it turns out Democrats are pissed off at them. So one of the groups, pejorative now, extends to any cohort of humans asking Democrats in any organized fashion to do anything beyond just fundraising, sending death robots to Israel and shrugging. Anyone who wants politicians to do politics is a pie in the sky purist. We have officially gotten to a point where the Democrats are basically stating oh, you want us to actually do things? You want us to actually stop the Republican Party, for example, or try to stop the Republican Party, for example? What kind of ridiculous activism is this? It is kind of crazy that this is the state of affairs within the Democratic Party. Okay? A rudderless ship, a operation simply designed to extract resources from as many people as possible so that they can basically send all of that money back to, I don't know, different kinds of marketing initiatives that their friends and their immediate family members work at. It's this massive grift. It's this money extraction operation. And there is no way, there is no reason to demand anything from them. Just give them money and shut the fuck up. At least they are not the Republicans. This is basically this is my criticism of the Dems in full display. This is them basically admitting what I say all the time. It's like they just looked at the situation and said, nah, what do you mean? No, what did you think this was? You misunderstood. No, we are not the Republicans, so give us money and shut the fuck up. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. Here's a meme about it.
Party. We love those quippy one-liners that make some people feel good about themselves and make us go viral while stunting any real progress from those pesky naysayers we don't like. I'm speaking. We're the Democratic Party. We sprinted to the right to try to get those people who would never vote for us and absolutely lost. We're the Democratic Party. We currently hold the record for the most deportations, and we consistently vote against migrant communities, and we are not afraid to brag about that. We're the Democratic Party. We funded a We're the Democratic Party. We marked any emails about Gaza during our presidential campaign as no response, so they would be exempt from any outreach or engagement from us. We're the Democratic Party. We pushed an internal memo to get Biden to say that COVID was no longer a threat to score political points, completely rejecting any science and getting you to take your mask off, further driving a wedge between disabled and immunocompromised people and everyone else, also while doing nothing about long COVID and being extremely unclear about the status that we're in this pandemic. If we could just have that line start at 2100 and not 0, I think that would really help us. No, they're not gonna look into what manufacturing consent means. They don't ask questions of us. We're the Democratic Party. All that considered, we push for mask bans alongside our Republican friends. We're the Democratic Party. We will always...
Okay, to be fair, masks, scary. Yeah. If you wear a mask, especially if you're at a protest, okay, then it's much harder for the surveillance apparatus to log your identification. So, sorry. Oh, are you sick? Are you sick in public and you wanted to be you wanted to be a nice person? You wanted to be a thoughtful individual? You. Except also when push comes to shove, when there's wildfires, for example, taking place, then we'll actually go back to the exact same groups to be like, hey, we really need masks right now. Can you guys give us some of your masks? It turns out masks are not a face diaper.
Always make concessions to our Republican friends. We're the Democratic Party. We know that the other side is way worse, so just give us money. We're the Democratic... Yeah. Oh yeah, you saw that. I know. You saw that they were going after people who didn't vote for us rather than us. I know. Yeah. We love that part. We're the Democratic Party. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Slay. The problem here will always be that we have high standards for the Democratic Party. We want them to do good shit all the time versus the Republican Party who voters have no standards and vote to make neighbors' lives worse instead of better. No, that's not true. Okay. And I'll explain why. I get what you're saying. In terms of the Republican agenda, their agenda is death and destruction, which is easier to do. It's easier to break things than it is to build things. Except that didn't used to be the case. Okay. Post FDR, it was actually much harder to untangle the federal government. It was much harder to advocate for austerity. That is the last 40 years of neoliberalism that has made it so that starving the beast is actually the norm, and people have no expectations from their government, and that Democrats are not expected to actually beef up the federal government in any way, shape, or form. That's like we're inherently antagonistic towards those sorts of initiatives. Okay? That wasn't always the case, though. That was not always the case. There was a time when, the government used to do things and people used to like that the government used to do things. There was a time when we took advantage of the social safety nets, at least to the degree in which it existed, when living standards were better. So I don't think that there is do I believe that the Republicans have an easier go at it than the Democrats do, given the standards and the expectations from the broader American population? Absolutely. The problem is Democrats don't even actually push for any of those things. Anyway, here is the conversation that took place from someone that was there at that meeting, trying to figure out how much I can say without doxing myself. But long story short, there was a meeting/protest today where over 100 community leaders and advocates met with Schumer, among others. And it went horribly wrong because he basically admitted that they never thought about how to fight back. Everyone was mad as hell and demanding Dems do more. At one point, he basically laughs at my mom and smugly tells her that if she wants the community to be helped, then she needs to run for a position and help her community. And then my mom had to sternly remind him that she did. And she ran for her position and she won, which is why she's there with the rest of the advocates and leaders, because they're doing their jobs and the top Democrats aren't doing theirs. Super awkward. Remember, the entire dynamic of this meeting that took place yesterday was specifically for community organizers, activists, people that actually work within the Democratic Party, but are directly door knockers and the voice of the Democratic Party, the outreach operation of the Democratic Party, were going back to their elected representatives and going, guys, things are going crazy, okay? Things are blowing up. And if your expectation is that you just sit by and wait for the Republicans to perish due to their incompetence, this is not going to work. You need to help them fail. If possible, please. Can you do something, please? Can you maybe tilt the scales in our favor in any way, shape, or form? And their expectation is no. Also, towards the end, they told the crowd that everything's off the record and they can't be held to their word, Lamau. And then they did. They leaked this meeting that took place. They leaked to the Axios guys that they actually hated. They said that the entire conversation was off the record. And then, of course, predictably, they went back to Axios and leaked to them, which is a center-right publication, of course, that they are pissed off at the liberal groups like Move On and Indivisible. If you are the Democratic Party and you're pissed off at Move On and Indivisible, who is in your corner? There's no one in the base then. You just hate your base. You actively hate your base. You despise your base. This is the base of the party. This is not a lot of people will immediately say, Hasan, you're a socialist. Hasan, you don't like the Democratic Party. You want a proletarian revolution. Okay? Hasan, you are inherently antagonistic because you have a biased position on the in Gaza, and that's why you're constantly cynically criticizing the Democratic Party. Those people don't understand that I work within the confines of the existing political structure all the time. Okay? This does not mean that I agree with everything, but I understand that if politics is the art of the possible, okay, then do something. Do something and show us what is possible. Okay? Yes, it is correct. I am biased against a country that is doing and a Democratic Party that allowed it to happen. Okay? Having said that, however, I have maintained this position throughout the entire election cycle. If you were in here watching me cover the Democratic Party's incompetence. Okay. Socialists benefiting immensely from capitalism. Got it. What? Dude, I just want healthcare, man. What are you talking about? Please. And it's not even just for me. Like, I'm good. All right. It's like, I understand that higher degrees of socialization and a government that actually allows there to be more unionization will open up opportunities for more political mobilization down the line. That's it. That's it. That's all I'm saying. It is crazy. Do Dems even care about their voter base? No, they don't. And this is my point. Like, anyway, socialist yet tremendously beneficial. Capitalism is great for me. Yeah, okay. So what? What's the expectation? I should just shut the up and just be like, no, the Democrats are doing great, guys. And I'll take it one step further. The Republicans are doing great. They're doing great for me. It's awesome. Anyway, it's ridiculous that in this time and space, like, I can't even have any sort of criticism of the Democratic Party from the perspective of someone who wants the Democratic Party to do better. You know? It's ridiculous. Anyway, I've done this throughout the entire election cycle as well. My criticisms, no matter how much people tried to claim that they were like biased in favor of Gaza and cynically aggressive towards the Democrats for allowing death and destruction in Gaza, wasn't just about Gaza. I used Gaza as a way to describe the inconsistencies and the lack of interest from the Dems in actually paying attention to what was going on and the very reasonable demands that its base of support was demanding. Okay? Gaza is a microcosm of that issue at the heart of the Democratic Party right now. There are so many other issues that I also talked about throughout the entire election cycle that the Dems were not responsive to. Okay? And this is another instance where I am explaining to you that I'm not saying this from the perspective of someone who cynically wants to undermine the Democratic Party. There are plenty of people, many very thoughtful leftist content creators out there who I agree with almost entirely, who very actively say, no, it's done. It's over. Dems are done. Throw them in the trash. Okay? Throw them in the trash bin. I'm not saying that. Okay? I'm still maintaining the position that, like, this is the only game in town. And if this is the only game in town, then they have to do something. And it's crazy to me that liberals still turn around and say, yeah, we are the only game in town and you should shut the up. You know, they are actively throwing themselves in the trash by doing stuff like this. Anyway, let's take a look at this closed door meeting, though. Closed door meeting for House Democrats this week included a gripe fest directed at liberal grassroots organizations. Sources tell Axios. Members of the steering and policy committee with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries in the room on Monday complained activist groups like Move On and Indivisible have facilitated thousands of phone calls to members' offices. People are pissed, the senior House Democrat who was at the meeting said, of lawmakers' reactions to the calls. The Democrat said Jeffries himself is very frustrated at the groups who are trying to stir up a more confrontational opposition to Trump. What is your job, Hakeem Jeffries? You are the House leader for the Dems. You are Nancy Pelosi's very own guy. What do you mean you're very frustrated? He's like, oh man, I can't believe I had to take this meeting with these losers and take time out of my busy schedule sucking Silicon Valley executive. Because remember, Hakeem Jeffries went to Silicon Valley and talked to the tech execs who are still on board with the Dems, the big boosters and the big donors, and said, hey, don't worry, we'll give you unlimited access when we're in power, just as the Republicans have seemingly given unlimited access to some of the right-wing tech CEOs. We'll do that for you. Okay? A Jeffries spokesperson disputed that characterization and noted to Axios that their office regularly engages with dozens of stakeholder groups, including Move On and Indivisible, including as recently as Monday. Zoom in. There were a lot of people who were like, we got to stop groups from doing this. People are concerned that they're saying we're not doing enough, but we're not in the majority, said one member. Some Democrats see the callers as barking up the wrong tree, given their limited power as the minority party in Congress. It's been a constant theme of us saying, please call the Republicans. If the Dems don't listen to us when our demands are, please pressure the Republicans and obstruct every step of the way. Please do something, anything. Okay? And you're saying, dude, go yell at the Republicans. Why would the Republicans ever listen? I reject and resent the implication that congressional members are simply standing by passively, said Representative Richie Torres. Yeah, he's not. He's not standing by passively. He's actually actively helping the right-wing agenda. As long as it's, as long as it's helpful to Israeli causes. The other side, people are angry, scared, and they want to see more from their lawmakers right now than floor speeches about Elon Musk. Indivisible co-founder Leah Greenberg told Axios. Indivisible is urging people who are scared to call their members of Congress, whether they have a Democrat or Republican, and make specific procedural asks. Our supporters are asking Democrats to demand specific red lines are met before they offer their vote to House Republicans on the budget when Republicans inevitably fail to pass a bill on their own. What's crazy about this, okay? What's crazy about the situation is that Chuck Schumer has said that they would pass the budget. Chuck Schumer has said that they would pass the budget. Like the one fight that the Democrats have, the one tool that they have in their tool belt in terms of like stopping process. Chuck Schumer is like, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're the minority party. Who gives a shit? It's amazing. It is truly amazing that there's no fight left in the Dems at all when this is the moment where they're supposed to fight. Even if it was just about Gaza, so what? Being your deal breaker is the only right thing. It's one good example of a single issue voting. Why not double down on that? The reason why is because it is a larger problem, even domestically. Okay. And there are plenty of people, especially people that I talk to, that truly do not care. Okay. They are Western chauvinists. They are American exceptionalists, even if they consider themselves to be progressives. And in order to explain to them this issue, in order to explain to them the problems at the heart of the Democratic Party, I have to not only talk about Gaza, but also talk beyond that as well, because the reality of the matter is these are genuine issues that extend even outside of Gaza. It's understandable that that is a big enough deal for many people, okay, myself included. It's the one red line that most moral people should have. Okay. But as my job as a political commentator, my job is to speak to liberals, conservatives, people that are outside of my immediate ideological allegiances. Okay. No, it's a war. It is a chatter. I can't believe that you're still doing denial. What a ridiculous situation. I guess I can't even get that mad at people because like virtually every single mainstream media resource is actively undermining the truth. They unfollowed immediately after sending that message, by the way. I know. Hasan getting the TYT treatment right now? Wait, what? No. Why are people not putting all that important little next to Bernie Sanders' name to good use? Democratic Party is officially dead. All right. Let's see what Sam Cedar did this morning.
I know a lot of people who listen to this program have probably contacted their representatives. Richie Torres from New York says, I reject and resent the implication that congressional Democrats are simply standing by passively. I want you to call him right now, and here's his numbers.
202-225-4361 for the DC.
I swear I'm not trying to troll here, but is this similar to how typical education in Turkey leads to the denial of the Armenian genocide? Gaza denial is just casual and accepted here. I mean, it's a little different because it's happening right now. Like what's happening in Turkey is, or what has happened in Turkey historically is, yes, education. Like it's not even a talking point. Like people's starting position is that it is a lie, that the Armenian genocide is a lie. That's what you're taught in school. Okay. But nice $2,000 chair socialist. What is going on, man? Yes, dude, I'm rich. What is happening? Yeah, dude, I have a Herman Miller. You want to know why? Because I sit on this goddamn chair all day, every day. It's probably one of the most important parts of my production. What do you mean? Things that actually connect me to the ground, you know? Didn't you have a father figure in your life that explained to you the things that are the most important that you spend the most money on are things that connect you to the ground? Good tires, good shoes, a good bed. And for me, considering I sit on this for 8 to 10 hours every day, yeah. Is this like another talking point? Is that what's happening? I have it too. It's nice. Yeah, it's nice as hell. Wait, so why are you complaining? Yeah, I got a nice bed too, man. What's going on? I was just joking. All right. Lies, you've been doing 6-2 regularly, part-timer is fair. I haven't really been doing 8 to 10 hours these past couple of days. I've still been tired. The post-Japan fatigue. Yeah, best investment of all time. Also, you want to know what's funny? You want to know what's ironic? I didn't pay for this chair. I got it for free. I mean, I would. I paid for the previous chair that I used to have. But yeah, Logitech sent this to me for free. So here, get even more mad about that. The rich get richer. Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but if you're going to get mad about something, get mad at the right things. Also, you can get those fuckers for less than 1K secondhand or refurb. Yeah, there's a lot of... in the era of remote work, a lot of these businesses basically sold off their like assets, so you could cop like a crazy Herman Miller. I don't have a sponsorship with them. They've actually actively told me that they don't want to work with me. It was one of the few companies that I told my manager that I would work with. One, because they make everything in America, as far as I understand, even though their CEO is apparently very anti-labor union, from what I understand. I did ask my management way back in the day to work with them. They literally were like, no, this is not a good brand fit. It is one of the few brands that have refused to work with me back in the day. And it was, I think, directly because of my politics. Having said that, however, yeah, it's great. And you can also get like, if you can find one in a second hand for cheap, it's worth for sure. I've been a viewer for too long. I've heard the story like 3 times, lol. Yeah, I mean, most of the shit that people yell at me about, they think is new, but it's not. It's just the things that I have also voluntarily revealed. Oh yeah, they saw this and said, no. This is after. I wanted to work with them back in the day. I think I even mentioned it in this coverage. The Herman Miller CEO basically saying like the most unhinged shit. But yeah, they are very conservative. Exactly. I know the family that owns Herman Miller, super conservative, connected to folks like DeVos's. Really good chairs though. Exactly. Chairs are good, but company is unsurprisingly, or at least like the owners of the company are unsurprisingly very right wing. But I'll still sit on that. You know, secondhand, ew, more like second ass. I would only buy new. You're crazy. Madison Seating has secondhand Herman Millers. I bought a steel case chair from them secondhand and it arrived fully built in an amazing condition. All right, let's keep going. Kind of gay to sit on another man's chair. Yeah, it's good. It's good though, because another man's ass has softened it up for you. You know what I mean? All right, let's see what Sam Cedar is doing. Those little radicals over there at the Majority Report.
Wrong. 718-503-9610.
And apologize for asking the Democrats to do something more. They have no leverage. And you're asking them to do stuff.
Elections have consequences, and Richie Torres was hoping that consequence was a vacation or something.
He's doing the best he can. He resents it.
I resent you people.
He resents the voters. Now you go and call and apologize.
Yeah.